Everything in life, every second of your life is the first second of the rest of your life. Every day in your life is the first day of the life that is left. Start it like that. So there is this thing, then the speed. And they say that, well, if I walk, I walk very fast. If I speak, I speak very fast. I think that if you can, even if there has been an intelligence leak and your adversary has come to know about it, by the time he analyzes it, by the time he understands it, if you have got a speed, you have got to defeat him. By days or by hours or by minutes or seconds, he will get you, but he reached there only a couple of minutes later. You're out from there. So be fast to hit and to quit. So speed is
that is very relevant.
Don't get into too much of a procrastination and this thing like that. It's a speed. And secrecy, of course, is a part of this profession, but I always believe that you must have the ability, that is, you can articulate, you can mix, you can talk, but you will always be able to, the vital secrets must be kept the same. So ultimate security, which becomes a lifestyle over a period of time, that is to remain a secretive business. So I think that are the things that in which the operational work that I have done and which I feel that the others feel that there have been a certain amount of what they call is an S4, that there is a surprise, there is a speed, there is a secrecy, and then there is a solo. So it is this thing there.
Sir, you said something very, very interesting about speed, secrecy. So it actually evolves from psyche also. You know, what kind of psyche a person has developed over a period of time. So would you like to share with us few events in your life which has actually helped you develop this psyche?
Well, there is no event which I manufactured or which I planned that it will affect my psyche. The things that you plan, they don't affect your psyche because you plan for it. Things that affect your psyche is something that happened and you have not planned for it, and then leave the mark. If I recall, I think, in a way, I had little troubled childhood. My father was an army officer, and I was born as a son after his this thing, the whole family. I was the son after a gap of 40 years. And I had a lot of boys, and then I had sisters. So I was very pampered. And my grandfather and my mother and everybody felt that. So I became a very pampered child. To some extent, a spoiled child as it happened. So my father sent me to boarding school. So I went to military school. I was about 8 years that time. So I left my home at the age of 8, and I went to, at that time it was known as King George's Royal Indian Military College, later became King George's School, and now it's known as a military school. That is when this thing in my life, from the coziness of the house to the loneliness of a boarding house, I developed a psyche. I used to weep for long hours after it was dark because you were sleeping alone. But soon I learned, in this life you have to be alone. And you have to find your pains, your pleasures, your comforts. It's all in you. So you have got. So I became a loner, which I remained and which suited my profession. But it also made me the thing that I am responsible for whatever I do. If I get beaten up by the other students, it is because I have not been able to manage them well. And if I get this like this, so that is the first event in my life, which when I see in the retrospect, that is gave me this thing that if I have to do a thing, I have to do it alone. I have got to be self-dependent. And everything that I do, I am responsible for. Everything that happens to me, nobody else is responsible for that except me. Good or bad, I have got to bear the consequences. The second was that school had a very strange motto. It still is, they have not changed it. It's a very, very old school, the military school. It is got to school. Play the game. They used to think that, well, it's more important that, the students were brought there in very young age. They must learn to play the game and inculcate certain qualities which come to this thing of game. And every child was allotted some game. So I was in the Chetwood house in that this thing, and then when the selection started for this thing, some people were taken on football and some for hockey and this. I was this thing for boxing. It's a very interesting story. Anyway, school level, everybody plays, so I was also there. I was a reasonably good school time boxer and everything. But he was also my house teacher and also the these things. He told me one day a story. He said, "Do you know why I selected you for the boxing race?" He said, "You have got a very unique quality." I was, of course, at that, when you are very young at the age, nobody knows who is tall, who is short. So all are short of this thing only by small inches or half inches. So you don't have this thing. He said, that is, you never accepted a defeat. When you are beaten up and you are beaten up, you will never come out of it. Even when you are bleeding, even when you are this thing, you will continue. Not that you were the best fighter, but you had great resilience. I will win the war not because I'm the strongest, but I will not quit. I can wait, prepare myself and wait for years and years. And he said, that is what I thought, that psychologically a boxer's quality, that is, you will stay in the ring up to the last round. Even when you have lost the rounds, even when you have been beaten up, even when you are bleeding. He said there were much better boys who could be this thing. But moment they got one or two of the jabs or something like that, etc., thereafter, they just wanted to quit. Or this thing like that. You kept on getting beaten up and things like that, but you stayed there. Over the period of time, you learned that trick, so probably you started winning also. It was a great this thing. And he said that, well, it's a quality, not good or bad. But remember that this is your strength. If you can hold in the face of adversity for a long time, that's why my tenures have been very long. I went to Northeast, I was there for 7 years. I went to Pakistan, I was there for 7 years. I can hold on. You can torture me or something like that, I cannot bear it. I can bear injustice for a long time without losing my this thing and this. So I think as a personal this thing, my becoming independent at a very young age and thereafter getting beaten up, to understand that well, you can get beaten up, but you can still win.
So you took the right decision of actually...
No, I don't know. There were circumstances.
Yes.
As I said, if you take a decision, it cannot affect your psyche. You know, if I decide to do something, I prepared myself. My mind, reasoning faculty has been involved. So it will not the same. What happens in life, that changes your psyche. So when I didn't go to this boarding school to change my psyche, but I suddenly realized that mother's comfort is not there. And they're all boys who are all, particularly the boys, when they see a new person, they all are his enemies.
Yes.
Till they settle down. To begin with, you have to beat each other. And the one who comes the new one, he's the one who is beaten up by everyone. So we used to have a pillow fight. Everybody will pounce on you.